Ladies and gentlemen, it is Tuesday, the 18th day of July. The year is 2017, and if you can hear the sound of my voice, you are the revolution. I am Revolutionary Warrior number 1, General of the Save the World Army, Smokin' Joe McHale, and I would like to welcome you to day 310 of Operation Save the World. We are live from beautiful Sydney, Australia, and this is the Save the World Army live daily news, smashing through the lies of the Illuminati, smashing through the lies of the New World Order, and smashing through the lies of the government who are escalating their attacks against humanity every single day. But even though they are escalating their attacks against us, my brothers and sisters, don't you dare be sour. Join the Save the World Army and feel the power. Yes, yes, yes. I have the power. You have the power. We have the power. Humanity has the power, and we have to use that power, the power of love, to beat the Illuminati, to break the New World Order, to bring down the world government, and to set humanity free. Because we know the only way for humanity to free ourselves from tyranny is to bring down the government that is enslaving us. Thank you all so much for joining me on this beautiful July afternoon. Revolutionary Sergeant number 5, Tabasco Tammy, and Revolutionary Warrior 508, Nikita, and Revolutionary Warrior 26, the Duchess. Good to see you all. Nikita says, hey there, much love. Tabasco says, hello, I'm feeling the power. Today, you and me both. And we're going to need every scrap of that power because these putrid, pencil-necked, pot-bellied, pestiferous pedophiles are still running rampant through all levels of government. Right now, they're raping little children all over the world. The question is, what are you going to do about it? I know what I'm going to do about it. I'm going to do whatever I can to expose these demons and to bring them down. And you'd better believe that we will be successful. Yes, Nikita, the power. From activistpost.com, child sex trafficking in the US is exploding. Government admits they aren't stopping it. Of course, they're the ones running it. July 16, 2017, by Rachel Blevins. A recent report on the number of sexually exploited children in Florida gives insight into a horrific world that is often ignored by the media and that rarely holds millionaires, politicians, and even local officials accountable for their involvement. A report from the Florida Legislature's Office of Program Policy Analysis and Government Accountability concluded that the state's Department of Children and Family, or DCF, and its lead agencies have not resolved issues related to serving sexually exploited children. And it truly is sickening how all over the world unspeakable things are being done to these children. It is so incredibly evil. And I don't care what they do to me. I don't care if they lock me up. I don't care if they kill me. I'm done. I'm not putting up with this garbage. And I need to step it up. I need to do even more. Of course, we must use peaceful methods, 100% peaceful methods. But we have to step it up. I need to work even harder because they're bringing the hammer down. The report found that in 2016, 356 verified commercially sexually exploited child victims were identified as opposed to 264 identified in 2015. And Azza from Coffs Harbour, much love to you, brother. Thank you for tuning in. It noted that many of the victims who were identified earlier were both children in child welfare dependency and those living in the community with family have since been re-victimized, involved with the criminal justice system, or only attended school intermittently. During 2016, DCF's Florida Abuse Hotline received 2013 reports alleging the CSE of children, that's sexual abuse, which is a 57% increase over the 2015 reports. Child Protective Investigators investigated 1,386, or 69% of those reports. Counties with the highest number of CSE reports include Miami-Dade, Broward, Orange, and Hillsborough. DCF hotline staff did not refer cases for investigation if the allegation did not rise to the level of reasonable, which is 74%. That means there were no means to locate the victim, 11%, or the alleged perpetrator was not the child's caregiver, 8%. Of the reports that were referred for investigation, most came from the Department of Juvenile Justice, the Department of Corrections, or criminal justice personnel and law enforcement. In 2016, the National Human Trafficking Hotline received reports of over 7,500 human trafficking cases, which was a substantial increase from the just over 5,500 in 2015 and just over 5,000 in 2014. Florida ranked third on the list with 550 cases, behind Texas with 670 and California with over 1,300. Out of the over 7,500 human trafficking cases reported in the United States in 2016, the majority, or over 5,500, were sex trafficking cases, and 2,387 of the reported victims were minors. The report on child sex trafficking in Florida suggested that the increase in victims was due to the process DCF and the Department of Juvenile Justice use to select children to screen, as well as the screening tool itself may limit accurate identification of CSE child victims. The report also noted that 62% of the children who were labelled as commercially sexually exported remained in the community and are referred to voluntary local services. As a result, no data is readily available on whether the children use these services. The Free Thought Project has provided extensive coverage of the sex trafficking epidemic in the US, especially in relation to minors who become victims after they are kidnapped from their homes and placed in foster care. And we see this so many times. These children are stolen from their parents and then they are brutally raped, brutally beaten, brutally destroyed in these government-run foster homes. It is truly sickening. In April, 2 pastors who were foster care advocates were arrested for running a child sex ring in Ohio. The pastors, who had influence on their county's Child Services Board of Trustees, were charged with recruiting, enticing, and transporting people the men knew were under 18 to engage in sex acts for pay. The trafficking was ongoing for at least 3 years, and initially with a 14-year-old girl. Stephen Ellum, thank you for joining us. Tabasco said, can you post the article? I can't really post a link. What I'll do is I'll give you the headline. You can make a note of this, and it's from activistpost.com just a couple days ago. The headline is, Child Sex Trafficking in the US Exploding. Government admits they aren't stopping it. In June, a lawsuit was filed in the case of a 5-year-old girl who was given to the leader of a child sex ring in Arizona. She was taken from her mother, who was battling an addiction with substance abuse, and she was put in the custody of a pedophile. I can't even read this. I'm really burning up inside this. I do my best to keep my composure every single day. But it just never ends. It just never ends. Every single aspect of our lives are controlled. These sick satanic scumbags want to kill you. They want to kill your family. They want to control every aspect of your life so they can steal your children away from you to rape them. And I can imagine this mother, who may have been smoking marijuana or using an illegal drug, surely they wouldn't have taken the children away for using the pharmaceutical drugs that ruin so many lives. But so evil. They stole this child away from the mother who loved the child and placed it with a pedophile for it to be raped. And that's what the government does every stinking day. That is their modus operandi. That is their means of operation. That is straight up their MO, to rape and pillage and destroy and to kill. And I will not allow them to continue. You see this? See this? I got this in the mail today. This is the brief of evidence from the putrid police who arrested me for saying stop the war. This is what they charged me with. Commit nuisance in or on war memorial or internment site. Resist officer in execution of duty and behave in offensive manner in public. And you should read this absolute garbage. While the government rapes people, while the government agents kill people all over the world, they just want to do anything to stop people who really have courage and who can really see the truth from speaking out. But you know what? I'm never going to stop speaking out. I'm never going to stop fighting this evil force. And some say we are like Sisyphus. And I'm looking for my copy of The Myth of Sisyphus. Can't see it right here. Many of you know the story of Sisyphus, an ancient king. Of course, this is a myth. Sisyphus was condemned to endlessly, for eternity, push a boulder up a hill, and then it would roll back down, and then he would do it again and again and again. And the whole book by Albert Camus, The Myth of Sisyphus, explores the philosophy of futility and fatalism and existentialism. And in the end, we could choose to give up. We could choose to allow this boulder to continue to crush us. We could just give up like the rest of these cowards out there in the world who have given up on reality. They just want to bury their faces in their phones and, play stupid games or watch television. Materialism pushing them to just want more, to be in competition with each other. It's not what I'm all about. I can see what's going on, and you can see what's going on. And because we can see what's going on, we have the moral responsibility to do something about it. And I thank you so much for your courage every single day here doing something about it. So we're banned from Facebook. What was the highest number of simultaneous viewers we had on Facebook? 202. We've been smashed, and now we're sitting on 3 viewers. But I know all of you 3 viewers. Nikita, Tabasco, Tammy. And someone else has dropped out. Who's the third individual we have here? Perhaps Stephen Ellum. I love you guys. And it doesn't matter what they do. It doesn't matter if we end up being a minority of 1. It doesn't matter if you end up in a jail cell. Always speak the truth. Always do the right thing. Because, hey, we could die tomorrow. We could be hit by a truck. The enemy could take us out. Who knows? But we must keep fighting. We must keep doing the right thing and giving a positive example to those other people around us who don't yet have the courage to face against this evil system. We must give them the courage. We must encourage them to do the right thing and to save the world. Tabasco says, thanks, that works. I get so irritated when people act like this isn't happening. Yeah, dummies, just putting their heads in the sand because they don't have the guts to face up to reality. In June, a lawsuit was filed in the case of a 5-year-old girl who was given to the leader of a child sex ring in Arizona. She was taken from her mother, who was battling an addiction with substance abuse, and she was put in the custody of a pedophile who sexually abused her, tortured her, and ultimately left her fighting for her life. The recent report from Florida is another reminder that child sex trafficking is a horrific element of the human trafficking epidemic that has been ongoing and increasing in the United States. While government involvement has always been an element, it has yet to put a stop to the increasing number of children who are subjected to life-altering abuse on a daily basis. And yes, Duchess, she says quality over quantity. Numbers will grow though. Yes, you are correct. And I thank you for your hard work every single day, my revolutionary sisters. We got a whole bunch of sisters in the house. And Tabasco says, yes, Duchess, hello. Naturalnews.com, and of course they're doing their best to impoverish us so that they can control us and enslave us. So from naturalnews.com, here are 10 ways to prep when you're completely broke. July 13, 2017 by Lance D. Johnson. I'm going to have some fluoride-free water here. Cheers to victory, my brothers and sisters. If you feel like prepping is a waste of money, or if you don't think you have the money to plan for future events, think again. Even if you're broke, thrifty prepping techniques can help you make connections, earn more money, and have just the right item on hand in an emergency. Here are 10 tips for prepping when you're broke. And, I like to hear that. The Duchess says, speaking of prepping today, I picked up a 9mm today. Nice one, Duchess. I'm not sure about your level of training, but always make sure to get a refresher course. I've never fired a gun in my life. I'm living here in Australia where they already took everybody's guns off the back of the Port Arthur false flag massacre, where some retarded guy in Tasmania said to have shot dozens of people with expert marksmanship, and the guy never even had a trial. This poor, retarded gentleman is still rotting in jail, Martin Bryant. So, I'm going to have to rely on these guns right here and my martial arts training. And Duchess says, hey, Tabasco. Number 1, get on a budget and designate a set amount for addressing future concerns. Start small, setting aside $10 a week and go from there. Pick up cheap but valuable preparedness items that you could use or trade. Here's a list of 10 affordable items and crucial items that won't break your budget, and I'll read that list later. Make a list and prioritize what is most important to you. Number 2, turn off the TV and don't be conned into buying frivolous things that you don't need. Challenge yourself. Learn not to rely on much. Make do with little. If a bad situation arises, you'll know how to live lean and rely on yourself first and foremost. Number 3, be of value to neighbors, friends, and family by learning a skill or trade. Read a book. Take a class. This skill could come in handy during a survival situation or during any season of life. More importantly, this skill will connect you with people and make you more valuable to others during any circumstance. Number 4, buy and resell items online through a local resale shop or at a garage sale. A small amount of money can multiply quickly if you know what to buy, when to sell it, where to sell it, and who to sell it to. People who are in the middle of moving will sell things cheap. You can consign at a local resale shop and make profit on the sale from the items you bring in. The chances are good that there is an online Facebook buy-sell group in your area. This is a great place to catch a bargain and negotiate for a good deal on necessary survival tools, items that could go up in value, or things you can resell and turn a profit on. Number 5, and Potts Point Hotel. Thank you for tuning in. We are going through the 10 ways to prep for a disaster if you're completely broke. Number 5, go through dumpsters and salvage valuable items that people are throwing away. You'll be amazed at what people and businesses are pitching. Watch for businesses that are going out of business sales. Hit up a supermarket at the right time, and you may get your hands on some food items that are still good to eat. Number 6, go to the dollar store and pick up cheap items that will be of higher value in a survival situation. Lighters, matches, gauze, duct tape, candles, Band-Aids, toilet paper, and canned food are cheap, easy to store, and their value goes up tremendously in a crisis scenario. Likewise, vinegar, salt, soap, and baking soda will all be important for cleaning, preserving food, and keeping infections at bay. Number 7, stock up on seeds and plan ways to grow food year-round. Seeds are inexpensive and can yield abundance with the right nutrients, water, and sun. Ideally, plant a fruit tree that produces food yearly with little effort. I know I got about a dozen fruit trees in the back. Number 8, give what little you have to people who are really in need. Small acts of kindness go a long way. You never know when you might need the same hand up in a survival situation. Be careful not to waste what you give on those who are only out to take. Not all sob stories are genuine. Number 9, hit up a flea market and pick up some hand tools that will be essential when power tools and fuel-driven equipment become obsolete. Think like the Amish. Dig a root cellar in the ground in case you need to keep food in a cool location when the fridge stops running. Number 10, this one is for you, Duchess. Pick up an extra box of ammo when you're in a sporting goods store and stash it back in a secure location. Buying a lot of ammo at once is expensive, but if you buy an extra box occasionally with the loose cash in your pocket, you'll soon have a valuable stash of ammo ready for an emergency situation. Ammo holds value and is easy to resell. Alternatively, befriend someone who loves to reload ammo. If you're broke, you won't have the money you need to buy all the reloading equipment, but if you know someone who has all the tools, ask to reload with them. You'll cut down on the cost of ammunition and can even resell ammo at gun shows. And the Duchess says, even without a huge crisis, a lot of things come in handy when you hit a rough patch. I lost my income for 2 years, and what I had prepped came in handy. Excellent point. It's not just an earthquake or an engineered financial collapse. It's if you lose your job or lose a source of income, or you need to pay to get your car fixed, or you need to pay for someone's health expenses, or anything like that. It's better to be prepared. Cheers to victory. And what I'll do in the comments section, I'll put the link to our brand new store. And I made a new URL for it as well, which is great. It is store.thesavetheworld.army. You can see I'm wearing my bright pink sweater today. You can get yours at store.thesavetheworld.army, and until the 20th, there is free shipping on every single order. So thank you once again for your support. From activistpost.com, are there patents to manipulate the human nervous system using electromagnetic frequencies? Spoiler alert, the answer is yes. By Catherine Frompovich, July 16, 2017. With all the fake news, propaganda and scares to taint impressionable minds with, one has to wonder if there is any real news fit to print, to know, or to do something with or about. Well, I just happen to have been gifted with a website link, Justia Patents, which details some of the patents and patents pending for inventions by Hendrikus G. Luce that deal with manipulating the human nervous system by the use of electromagnetic fields. Who is Hendrikus G. Luce? According to the website Quora, Luce may be a fictitious name that does not belong to a person. Since 1978, Dr. Henry Luce, or Dr. Hank Luce, has been awarded 11 US patents for devices that aim to manipulate the human nervous system. Some of the patents include, and I won't include the patent numbers, apparatus and method for generating and containing plasma having ultra-high temperatures, an optical instrument for measurement of particle size distribution, remote magnetic manipulation of nervous systems, pulsative manipulation of nervous systems, method and apparatus for manipulating nervous systems, subliminal acoustic manipulation of nervous systems, and nervous system manipulation by electromagnetic fields from monitor. All devices are used for mind control projects run by the CIA or other intelligence agencies. A group of researchers under the name Dr. H. Luce, were actually a group of hired professionals for researching and inventing such devices which could be developed and used for mass mind control, psyops, behavior modification later by the CIA. Another website, Patent Buddy, talks about Luce having the address 3019 Cresta Way, Laguna Beach, California, while yet another website claims Luce to be a master of mind control. So what's this all about? Fake news or real science? Who knows what the facts really are when vested interests probably want to keep confusion rank? However, I revert back to the Justia website with its extensive listing of patents and patents pending, which indicate someone has patents for something that borders upon non-thermal radiation at low levels that can and does effectuate the human nervous system upon application of certain techniques granted under US patents. And you can look these patents up for yourself. I'll give you some patent numbers. Nervous system manipulation by electromagnetic fields from monitors. That's patent number 6506148. Remote magnetic manipulation of nervous system. Patent number 6238333. Pulse variability in electric field manipulation of nervous systems. Patent 6167304. It goes on and on. But most people won't read these patents. Most people won't read anything. They're too busy having their nervous systems manipulated by these very electromagnetic fields that are discussed in these patents. In reading the above information, one has to question whether some of the patents are being used in various microwave technologies, smart gadgets and appliances, and possibly even with weather geoengineering. Those patents confirm scientific information and applications, I think, which ought to be brought to the attention of all 50 state public utility commissions regarding electromagnetic frequencies, how their applications at various low Hertz levels function, and their effects on the human organism, especially since utility companies are exposing consumers to electromagnetic frequencies from smart meters which are making people sick, disoriented, and electromagnetically hypersensitive at frequencies thousands times faster than the frequencies in the patents granted above. If those patent low frequencies can cause various human biological reactions, what's going on from EMFs in the gigahertz ranges which AMI smart meters operate at? 1 Hertz equals 1 cycle per second. 1 kilohertz is 1,000 cycles per second. 1 megahertz is 1 million cycles per second. And 1 gigahertz is, let's say it all together, brothers and sisters, 1 billion cycles per second. See what I mean? Keep in mind that the human body's electromagnetic frequency range is 7.83 hertz. Not thousands of hertz, not millions of hertz, not billions of hertz, 7.83 hertz. That's why when you get hit with this radiation, it really hurts. Oh, I went there. And you can read all these articles yourself, all these patents yourself. The next step towards cloning humans, genetically engineered humans, naturalnews.com, Chinese scientists create genetically engineered pet dogs. July 16, 2017 by Isabel Z. Genetic engineering continues to reach disturbing heights, or should I say lows, in China, where researchers at the biotech firm Sinogene, and isn't sin in Spanish without, although Sino does mean Chinese in a way. So anyway, Sinogene in Beijing have found a way to change a dog's nature through genetic modification and then reproduce the animal via cloning. They could, for example, give a dog bigger muscles and then make copies of it. What could go wrong? The scientists recently created a cloned beagle called Long Long, who is the first dog to be cloned using a parent who was genetically modified. While scientists have been cloning dogs in South Korea for 12 years. No biggie. This marks the first time that a genetically engineered dog was duplicated. This unnatural male puppy was born in late May at the same lab where his father, Apple, was born last year. The scientists say that they created Apple with the express purpose of serving as a lab dog for researchers to study atherosclerosis. He was created using the gene knockout technique, wherein a somatic cell was taken from a healthy beagle and one of its genes was modified to enable the dog to be born with a high amount of blood lipids to make it suitable for the study of clogged arteries. The same technology could be used to create super dogs with superior muscles, strength, or running ability to serve as police or working dogs. Whoa. They already got the crazy police dogs that will rip your head off as soon as the cops command them to. So now they want genetically engineered police dogs. In 2015, project leader Lai Lianzhu created 2 beagles who were twice as muscular as a typical beagle. Dogs are reportedly one of the most difficult mammals to clone. The scientists also say this gene-edited technology could help create model dogs who have diseases like diabetes and autism for study purposes. There is also the possibility of using it to help pet owners create healthy clones of an ill pet who is suffering from a genetic disease. In 2011, scientists in South Korea made headlines when they cloned a genetically engineered dog that glows in the dark when it is fed the antibiotic doxycycline. After that, a Chinese company stole the spotlight when it announced plans to open a cloning factory. Oh, what is that planet in Star Wars where they got the cloning factory? Anyway, a cloning factory that will produce 1 million calves per year. Despite worries about the safety of consuming cloned meat, the same plant will create genetic copies of pets and sniffer dogs. Revolutionary Warrior number 2, Sugar, and Revolutionary Corporal 150, Mama Spike. Thank you both for tuning in. Good to see you. Where will they draw the line? These actions are raising a lot of ethical questions. For many, it's unconscionable for scientists to create animals that have illnesses just so they can experiment on them. Of course, it is unconscionable. Some people are asking where they draw the line. Will super muscular humans be created next to enhance the military? And you'd better believe they're already working on the super muscular humans, but we are taking all of them down, my brothers and sisters. And Sugar says, a dog that glows in the dark. Just what we need. Sign me up. Bro, there are going to be people lining up around the block for these glow-in-the-dark dogs. And Tabasco said, hey, Sugar and Mama Spike. So good to see you all here. Cheers to victory. Of course, what type of behaviour can we expect from a country that just wrapped up its annual dog-eating Yulin Dog Meat Festival, where thousands of dogs, many of which were stolen pets, were killed and eaten? It's this same disregard for animal life that has Chinese scientists creating dogs only to purposely make them ill and conduct experiments on them. Nikita says, much love. Sugar says, hi. Sinogene Deputy General Manager Zhao Jianping said the company is looking forward to cloning pets and that several owners have already inquired about such services. Cloning Long Long cost the firm around $1.5 million, but they are hoping to bring the price down significantly so they can popularize it among the public. It's hard to imagine how any grieving pet owner could think a clone of their dog would solve their problems. That's not hard to imagine. I know a whole bunch of pet owners who were they couldn't wait to get a clone of their dog. After all, it may look the same on the outside, but it won't have the personality or soul of their deceased pet. Peters Guo Longpeng said cloning is unethical. Like any other laboratory animal, these animals are caged and manipulated in order to provide a lucrative bottom line. With one South Korean company cloning dogs for clients who pay $100,000, what a lucrative bottom line it is indeed. Insane. And I've heard a lot about net neutrality recently. Here's an interesting perspective from ZeroHedge.com. The Inconvenient Truth Behind the Net Neutrality Movement by William Craddock, May 26, 2017. Via Disobedient Media. The control of private information on the internet has been a contentious one for as long as the people have been online. It has long been the consensus that maintaining internet freedoms is essential for free expression, the exchange of ideas, and the ability for proponents of democracy and human rights activists to mobilize and advocate for political, social, and economic reform. Currently, the debate about internet freedom is centered around the concept of net neutrality. Net neutrality is the principle that internet service providers should enable access to all content and applications regardless of the source and without favoring or blocking particular products or websites by offering different speeds of bandwidth to different service providers. While publications such as Forbes and the Heritage Foundation paint net neutrality as a principle which threatens internet freedoms in the long term and hurts consumers by reducing their ability to customize internet services offered to them, proponents argue that it ensures equal access to the internet. However, major supporters of net neutrality have created doubts about the concept due to their increasing support of censorship, violations of personal privacy, and attacks against political opponents and journalists. The most immediate issue with net neutrality is the fact that many of the groups supporting it are purportedly concerned with social issues which are totally unrelated. One such organization is the protest movement Color of Change. Color of Change's website states that their mission is to design campaigns powerful enough to end practices that unfairly hold black people back. However, the group has increasingly begun to focus on advocating for net neutrality, a cause which does not appear to be related to their mission statement in any obvious manner. Color of Change claims that changes to the FCC are going to make net neutrality a devastating impact on black communities, without bothering to explain exactly how this might happen. In February 2015, the executive director of Color of Change, Rashad Robinson, published an opinion piece in The Hill where he claimed that securing the right to net neutrality victory would be civil rights history in the making. Despite their apparent support for the principle of net neutrality, Color for Change has primarily concerned itself with attacking journalists who report news with a conservative perspective, including Fox News personalities Hannity and O'Reilly. And this goes on and on. The focus on censorship of the media and at an event purporting to focus on information equality is no surprise given Color of Change's financial supporters. Data published by the Center for Responsive Politics shows that in 2016, billionaire George Soros made 2 payments totaling $400,000 to the group. So Soros is pushing net neutrality. The Washington Examiner has stated that Soros and the Ford Foundation have donated over $196 million to various net neutrality advocacy groups. Soros has spent hundreds of millions supporting various anti-government movements, including the Women's March, the People's Climate March, the Tax Day protests, and far-left Berkeley protest Refuse Fascism. The ACLU also began actively organising and training protest movements just 1 month after Soros sank $35 million into the group. Soros isn't giving me any money because I'm actually working to bring the government down and set humanity free. I am not these controlled opposition, scumbag, divide and conquer groups. And BlueDat77, thank you for tuning in. Nikita says, identical twins are exactly the same DNA, same fingerprints. Clone would just be the same, I would think. Would never share the same soul, though. No, who knows if these things would even have a soul. Insane what they're doing. Mama Spike said, then it's bad, bad, bad. Exactly. If this human Jabba the Hutt, tell me George Soros is the human incarnation of Jabba the Hutt. Anyway, tell me, if Soros is given money to a group, then they're bad news. Simple. And BlueDat agrees with me, saying clones don't have souls. Is that from, I think I remember a film with Schwarzenegger back in the day, The Sixth Day, saying clones don't have souls. Exactly. Hey, BlueDat, Revolutionary Warrior 11, Neo, much love to you, brother. So good to see you, my man. I'll move on to our next article. Just so you all know, this video will be live on Instagram. Excuse me, it'll be up on Instagram for 24 hours after it ends. Then it'll be on YouTube at youtube.com/c/the Save the World Army. Thank you for subscribing. Also, we're on Twitter at twitter.com/SaveWorldArmy. Thank you for following us. Also, head over to thesavetheworld.army. That's the brand new censorship-free social media site I created. They already banned me from Facebook, so we need to diversify our communications. Also, head to store.thesavetheworld.army to get your sweaters, hoodies, tanks, t-shirts, and so much more, and support Operation Save the World. Thank you again. And what I'll do is I'll read one more article that will help us. From naturalnews.com, 10 affordable food and nutritional items you can stockpile before the big crisis hits. July 16, 2017 by J.D. Hayes. Second only to firearms and plenty of ammunition in a SHTF prepper scenario is daily nutrition. The ability to feed and sustain yourself for a long period of time, since you probably won't have any idea how long the emergency will last and how soon help will arrive, if ever. And Ghost Who Walks, Revolutionary Corporal 366, thank you for tuning in, my brother. So while you've no doubt seen the lists of items some people believe you ought to hoard long before such a crisis, let's face it, many of them are simply unrealistic. That's because you'd need thousands of dollars and a half dozen basements to hold all of that stuff. The fact is, there are a number of food and sustenance items out there that you can not only collect and store long term, but do so cheaply and with a limited amount of space. Let's take a look at the 10 handiest items in terms of actually sustaining you with decent nutrition over a longer period of time. Ghost Who Walks says, good afternoon, brother. Ghost Who Walks is in the house. Good to see you, bro. Good afternoon to you. Nikita says, hey, Ghost Who Walks. And Ghost Who Walks says, good afternoon, fellow warriors. Number 1, bottled water. Yeah, this seems like a no-brainer, but you'd be surprised by how many people think they have enough water. But in reality, they don't. The easy and cheaper way to stock up on water is to simply pick up a 24-pack or 2 of bottled water once a week at your local grocery store or corner market. It's stackable and thus very portable. You'll be surprised how much you can collect in 3 months. Number 2, canned liquids. Think vegetable juice, pineapple juice, oh, I love that, etc. Since they come in a can, I don't like the aluminium BPA cans though, they are storable long term, and by drinking them you get nutrition and hydration. Plus, you can buy them cheaply by the box so you can stack and store them more easily. Number 3, dehydrated foods. Milk, whey, eggs, and other foods come in powdered form to be reconstituted with water. If you've got a decent supply of water outside your bottled source, this is a great source of portable, affordable nutrition that packs calories, protein, and vitamins. Number 4, hard cheeses. Encased in wax, they won't grow mold or produce bacteria. Also, the wax keeps moisture in, and cheese in this form can be stored for some time without refrigeration. Number 5, protein bars and protein drinks. Again, these are long-term storable, very stackable, and chock full of nutrients, protein, vitamins, and minerals. Plus, many of them contain a decent amount of calories, so you can eat 1 or 2 of them throughout the day and get plenty of calories to sustain you and stretch your overall food supplies. Nikita says, hey there. Number 6, canned or dehydrated meats. If you don't yet own a meat dehydrator, you really should think about purchasing one. They come in handy by giving you the flexibility to produce and store as much meat as you want on your time. But barring that, you can also pick up pre-packaged, dehydrated and canned meat for a reasonable price in the store. And Tabasco says, hey, highest Adam. Number 7, drink mixes. Again, these require water to reconstitute, but powdered drink mixes in pouches or jars do contain decent amounts of vitamin C, nutrients and calories, which you may very well need if you're bugging out to a location that will require physical labour to maintain and patrol. One caveat, powdered coffee can lead to dehydration, so while you may want a cup in the morning, don't plan on drinking a lot of it. Number 8, oils. Coconut, olive and organic oils keep for a long time and can be used in food preparation. Number 9, cereals. I know guys who largely subsisted on dry cereal for weeks at a time when they were deployed in Iraq or Afghanistan. They'd eat a meal a day, usually consisting of an MRE, or a meal ready to eat, if they were out on patrol, but in garrison, they'd essentially drink water and snack on dried cereal. Cereal contains lots of vitamins, minerals, nutrients, and you don't need milk. Number 10, oatmeal. You can eat oatmeal uncooked, though that's not the best way, of course, but it is nutritional, and small pouches of various oatmeal flavors can be prepared using just a little hot water for a great nutritional meal and good caloric intake. Plus, oatmeal stores long term. There you have it. While there are other items, of course, these will get you through long term. As a bonus, it wouldn't hurt to have several cases of those MREs I mentioned above. They have so many nutrients and calories that you can get by with only consuming 1 per day. We have to do whatever we can to prepare. Look, this is the brief of evidence that the scumbag police just sent to me. They charged me with commit nuisance in, on, war memorial or internment site. It says internment site. I think that means internment site. Does that mean a concentration camp? So you can't commit a nuisance on their concentration camps? Resist officer in execution of duty. Behave in an offensive manner in near public place in school. Let me read you just one of these scumbag statements. Makes me very angry, man. Makes me very, very angry. So they're all liars, of course. Exactly, Duchess. Where is the victim? I was the one who was assaulted. So this is one of the scumbags. I'm not going to read his name. Oh, you'd better believe I'm going to embarrass all of these scumbags on cross-examination. All right. On the 24th of April 2017, I was rostered to perform crowd control, route and bomb clearance duties with Senior Constable 1 and Constable 2 with the operational support group from 8 p.m. to 8 a.m. around the Martin Place War Memorial. About 4 a.m. on the 25th of April, I was standing at the western end of Martin Place at the intersection of George Street looking towards the cenotaph. At the conclusion of the last post, during the minute's silence, I heard a loud male voice yelling out about 20 meters in front of me. I started moving towards the location of the voice at a jog when I saw a male who I now know to be Joseph McHale yelling out. I saw a group of constables wearing fluoro vests moving towards Joseph from the direction of the cenotaph. As I reached him, the immediate area was quite dark. However, I could see a number of civilian and military persons in uniform near the accused, looking at him with what appeared to be disgust and anger. What about the disgust and anger of all the children who were murdered in these wars based on false flags? Where's that disgust and anger, you disgusting traitor to humanity? At this point, I had concerns the actions of the accused would result in him being assaulted. Yeah, so he assaulted me. Consequently, I arrested him for breaching the peace. I took hold of the accused, who attempted to pull away from me. I said, "Stop yelling out. You are under arrest for breach of the peace." Of course, I never said that. Of course, this is all fabricated. It's all fabricated. "Show some respect. Stop yelling." The accused continued to shout, so to prevent further yelling, I placed my hand over his mouth, while these other scumbags helped walk him away from the crowd. Whilst my hand was over his mouth, he continued to try to yell. This scumbag put his fingers in my eyes. This scumbag bounced my head off the concrete. Not in his statement. Warrior of God, Revolutionary Corporal 99, thank you for tuning in. Whilst my hand was over his mouth, he continued trying to yell. However, it was significantly muffled by my hand. Whilst covering his mouth, I made a point of not covering his nose so that he was still able to breathe. Not long after making it free from the majority of the crowd, the accused attempted to break free, and I was unable to keep my hand over his mouth. "Stop resisting. Stop." And as a result of struggle, we ended up on the ground. The accused continued to yell, "Freedom, stop the war, stop the war." I attempted to stop him from yelling, once again, however, was unsuccessful. Let me read once again this statement from this putrid police scumbag. The accused continued to yell, "Freedom, stop the war, stop the war." I attempted to stop him from yelling once again, however, was unsuccessful. So this is to all the government losers, the pathetic, pot-bellied, pencil-necked, pestiferous puppets who are enslaving the human race. This man was unsuccessful, and my voice was heard all over the world, making international headlines. You were unsuccessful stopping my voice. You will be unsuccessful, all of you government stooges, in stopping this movement, this revolution that is tearing down this slavery system, that is beating the Illuminati, breaking the New World Order, bringing down the world government, and saving the world from evil. The Duchess says, "Wasn't the old saying, 'Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me'?" Exactly right. At this stage, two other scumbags intervened and assisted the arrest. During the struggle, the accused was handcuffed, after which he was stood up. We walked him away from the area as quickly as possible to prevent further nuisance and offence to anyone within earshot. Once away from George Street, the accused was sat down against a pole on Barrack Street. I said, "My name is Senior Constable Scumbag from North West Met Operational Support Group. You do not have to say or do anything if you don't want. Do you understand?" The accused said, "No, I don't." He said, I will record anything you say or do. I can use that record in court. Do you understand? The accused said, no, I don't understand. I said, or he said, what don't you understand? And the accused said, you are a puppet of the Illuminati. They control you. At this point, the accused continued to call the other constable and I names. Oh, boo, we called you names after you bounced my head off the concrete and gouged my eyes and kneed me in the head. You. Anyway, it goes on and on. I don't know how much longer I'm going to live. I don't know if I'm going to be locked up. I don't know if I'm going to be killed. I don't care. I've had enough. I've had enough of them poisoning the sky every single day. I've had enough of them raping children every single day. I'm sick of these wars that go on every single day. I'm sick of all the mindless, moronic, mental midgets who are too stupid and too weak and too cowardly to do anything about it. I don't care about them. I have the courage to do something about it. You have the courage to do something about it. Together, we have the courage, and together, we have the power to save the world. You can tell my frustration today. But we have to turn that frustration into positive action. Thank you so much for all of your support. This video will be on Instagram for the next 24 hours. Also, after that, on YouTube at youtube.com/c/the Save the World Army. Also, go to twitter.com/Save World Army. Also, sign up at the brand new social media network I created at thesavetheworld.army, and you can get your t-shirts, hoodies, sweaters, and a whole bunch of other awesome Save the World government paraphernalia from store.thesavetheworld.army. So thank you all for your support. I really appreciate it. Much love to all of you. Mama Spike says, I hope you're not locked up. We're past the point of no return, and they're going to lock us up eventually. So I'm swinging for the fences. I'm doing whatever I can to peacefully bring them down while I still can, while I'm still breathing. Ghost Who Walks says, whatever happened to freedom of speech in this country and when did we lose it? Well, I'll tell you what, I'm going to court again on August 10. Hopefully I get some support to show these scumbags that freedom of speech will not be destroyed. Nikita says, we'll be victorious. Yes, we will. Much love to you. Tabasco said, we'll be victorious. Warrior of God said, be strong. I will. We go stronger by the second. The Duchess said, you'll be okay. You're exactly right. Tabasco said, thank you. Ghost Who Walks says, we cannot be beaten. And he says, when do you reappear, brother? August 10. August 10. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you for everything. Thank you for doing the hard work and for having the guts to face up to reality and to save the world from these demons who are poisoning, raping, murdering, and enslaving the human race. We're going to defeat them. I am Revolutionary Warrior #1, General of the Save the World Army, Smoking Joe McHale, and together we are beating the Illuminati, breaking the New World Order, bringing down the world government, and saving the world from evil. I love you all. Thank you so much for your support. Time is short, my brothers and sisters. We have to do whatever we can to peacefully bring this system down. Much love to you. I'll see you again tomorrow. The revolution is here, and we will be victorious. Woo! Yeah.